1420. The Answer.
Hello and good morning. Welcome in on this Friday. Open Lines Ohio. Of course, we talk whatever you want whenever you call. It's June 19th. As I said, it's a Friday. Happy early Father's Day to all the dads out there. So happy Father's Day, sir.
Thank you.
And that is, of course, one Mr. Kenny Kid. Hello there, Kenny.
Hi.
How's it going, Kenny?
Good. Happy Friday.
Yeah. We got a lot to talk about, but, with Friday's shows, it could go sideways because it is Open Lines Ohio. We talk whatever you want whenever you call. So, but the things that we are going to talk about, or try to get to at least, Joe Biden once again said the quiet part out loud. He's so consistent. I love that guy. I do. He's something. Tulsi Gabbard, she goes out with a bang. She released some reports when it comes to Dr. Fauci. And, somebody needs to hold him accountable. So Tulsi Gabbard seems to be doing that on her way out. Channel 5, they have a story about the IX Center and how some of the event managers, people that put on, like the auto show and all that, they're going, what are we doing here? So are we or aren't we? Which would be really sad if we didn't have those because those are a lot of fun to go to. A 911 call in Cleveland has gone viral. We'll play that for you. We'll have some updates on Iran. Yesterday, J.D. Vance spoke. We have some Salem News Network audio for that. Michelle Obama at the Obama, it's the Presidential Library. Is that what it out in Chicago? That's the
I
big...
guess. I mean, it looks like a giant trash can. But...
Yeah, it looks like a jail. I'm going to be completely honest. I mean, yeah. We'll talk about that. She had some things to say. One thing in particular that I was like, oh, really? And as I said, it's Open Lines Ohio. We'll talk whatever you want whenever you call. But first, it is the 10-year anniversary.
And they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown! And the Cavaliers by 3.
We remember it. That's right. That's right. That night they took no prisoners. And that night we did. We lived the dream.
The wine and
gold.
gold.
The wine and gold delivered, yes.
Dribble steps back, puts up a 3. Won't go. Rebound tip taken by Spates. Final seconds. It's over. It's over. Cleveland is a city of champions once again. The Cavaliers are NBA champions.
And, of course, that was the first championship since 1964 when the Cleveland Browns won against the Baltimore Colts. Shut out Johnny Unitas that day. And then this was Game 7. They came back from the 3-1 deficit. Only time in NBA history when that happened. That was 10 years ago. So there's celebrations going on downtown. They built a basketball court in the middle of downtown Cleveland because that's where you want to play basketballs, in the middle of downtown Cleveland. I hope it's open all night. That's a really good, investment there. But all seriousness, but like all joking aside, it was a cool moment. It's something I'll remember. For the rest of my life. It was good stuff. Kenny and I were talking about it off air where we were at. I was watching with my grandfather. It was pretty cool because it was Father's Day, and I'm like, he's older. How many memories am I going to have?
Yeah.
Let's go do that. And I knew a lot of people downtown, and I don't remember anybody like going nuts and burning cars and houses down. So that was good.
No.
Stands true to the whole Clevelanders. They care about their city thing. Can't say the same about New York with the videos that I saw.
Oh, that was disgusting.
Wow. Yeah, that got out of hand real quick. I think the worst thing that I remember from the parade when 1.3. Which Kenny confirmed, 1.3.
1.3 million. I was down there.
Yeah. No, I was down there too. I was at the corner of East 9th and Lakeshore. It was beautiful.
I was walking around handing out the pens because there wasn't supposed to be porta potties.
Yeah, they were not ready.
No.
The city of Cleveland was not ready for that. I will, because a parade like that will never happen again.
No.
If you don't remember, and if you haven't seen the footage in a while, you have to remember people were in the streets. And as like the cars and the floats went by, they would just open up the roadways.
Yeah, and then it filled back in.
Right. And I still, the coolest thing, I remember they had like Ernest Biner.
Yeah.
On one of the floats, and just like.
And the cheers he got. The cheers he got that he never got to experience because of his
John
debacles.
Elway. I don't even blame Ernest Biner. I blame John Elway, that buck-tooth idiot.
Ugh.
if I could roundhouse kick someone to the face and not get a charge, John Elway's might be number one on that list.
Yep.
To be fair.
Yep.
But it was 10 years ago today. I mean, just it was really cool. I mean, what a moment. And it was, I know people like, I don't count that championship because of LeBron. Well, I count that championship because it's Cleveland.
I don't like it because of LeBron, but I'll still count it because of Matthew Dellavedova.
Yeah.
Because Matthew Dellavedova encompassed everything that we loved as a Cleveland sports fan.
How about J.R. Smith, Richard Jefferson, Kevin Love, Tahani Jones?
Mm-hmm.
What's more Cleveland than a guy like Tahani Jones, who didn't have a contract? He signed like a 14-day contract. He played well. They ended up putting him on the team, and he wins a championship.
Yeah.
I mean, what's a better Cleveland story than that? You want to talk about underdog coming out of nowhere and stepping up and giving them what they needed. It was the good thing about that team, and I know we don't talk sports often, but this is probably the only time we're going to talk about it today. The cool thing about that team, and people have actually talked about this a lot, is just how the players knew their role.
Mm-hmm.
They knew when to play, how to play, and there was really no, which is weird saying it with LeBron, but there was really no ego involved.
No, not really. Not really. A little bit between him and Kyrie.
Especially in the coming
times,
seasons.
Yeah, at times. But, I mean, given out of the two, I would have rather kept Kyrie.
Listen, I said that at the time, and I got ripped for
I know.
Yeah, I said that at the time because it was
Kyrie wanted to be here. He signed the extension to stay here even without LeBron, before LeBron.
When all that was going on, I was a student down at the Ohio Media School, and I said that, and oh my goodness, you would have thought I said I don't even know what, because it was 12-on-1. People coming at me, how dare you say that? Don't you know LeBron's the greatest? And I go, well, no, Michael Jordan is the greatest. Well, okay, second best. And I go, well, that's Tim Duncan. They go, well, third. I go, well, that's Kobe. So if we want to keep going.
We can also throw Larry Bird, Magic Johnson.
Right,
I mean, there's a lot of greats.
Like LeBron's top 10, he's not
he's
number
within
one.
The greats, not number one.
We can live in the moment, which we do, and we do that a lot. And
I'll never forgive him for the ESPN betrayal, going on live TV and sticking it to the city of Cleveland. I'll never forgive him for that. And then okay, he comes back and it's like, okay, I'm sorry, I'm here to stay.
I'm coming home until I don't.
And then he leaves again.
Yeah.
And now they're talking about bringing him back. Get out of here.
Yeah, somebody said the best part of the Cavs parade was LeBron acting all ghetto.
Oh, dropping all the F-bombs and everything.
Yeah,
too.
that was rough.
Come on, man.
Yeah, that was a little rough. Like, you could say it was emotion, but come on.
I mean, a little bit here and there. Okay, maybe, but it was over the top.
Yeah, it was a lot. And there were certain networks that were carrying that live that really didn't have anybody sitting at the board, so those went out too. Just letting you know.
Yep.
But yeah, we could take it. Yeah, LeBron's so goofy. He really, truly is. But I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the championship. It was cool, man. It was one of the best moments. I mean,
it was a great experience, man. I mean, just watching it happen,
and
the realization's like, this is actually happening. This is actually what?
Yeah, after Kyrie hit that shot, I was pretty confident. I'm like, we got this.
I was not confident because I'm an old school Cleveland fan. I've been close before.
Yeah,
I was not confident until that clock hit 0-0-0-0-0-0-0.
No, I knew. Kyrie hit that shot, and I went, my buddy, he did it. And the reason why I say my buddy, because we're around the same age. I thought that was cool when he got drafted. Anyways, this is the Jake Underwood Show.
We're not friends, but...
Well, we could be. Hey, Kyrie, call me back. I never called him. That's what the problem was. I never called him. He didn't know that I wanted to be friends. When we come back, we're going to talk about how Biden said the quiet part out loud yet again, because it's rules for thee, but not for he. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420 The Answer, 102.9 FM, or free. If you want to watch behind the scenes on social media, plus podcast, all of that's available. We're available on iHeart. I don't know how, but if you're listening to us on iHeart, thank you. We appreciate it. Joe Biden. Joe. President Joe Biden, I'm Joe Biden, Joe. We did it, Joe. You guys remember.
You answered every question.
And what did Donald Trump do? Lie. Oh, what a time. What, really, I mean, just what a time. You know.
It's sad.
So Joe Biden was on with Jay Leno. And I don't know how I feel about Jay Leno because of the whole Conan thing. I'm going to be completely honest. I can appreciate him. But, I mean, this conversation behind the scenes had to be one of the most annoying things to ever witness. Just, oh, hey there, Mr. President. How you doing? I'm doing great. How are you, Jay? I'm doing well, Joe. Hey, Joe. Like, no, thank you. So I will admit, I did not watch this episode while they were driving around. I will say this, Jay Leno, he's got some nice cars.
Very nice cars.
Very nice collection.
Wow.
Good on you, Jay.
I love it.
Good on you. I don't like I said, I don't like the way that he treated Conan. I still think that was really messed up. The whole thing was crazy. Yeah. But Jay Leno, he of course retired, forced out, however you want to put it, fired. Yeah, sure. But now he has a show where he drives around in his cars and he just interviews people, which is a good shtick for him. He's got the fancy cars. He could, gas is a write-off then. So he's making double the money that you see that he signed for. Good for him. I'll never be mad at somebody making money. But he had Joe Biden on. And I want to be respectful. Former President Joe Biden. There we go. I was respectful. Well, he had him on, and they were talking, and this is why I like Joe Biden, because when he feels comfortable, man, does he just start rambling, and you find out some things, and he says the quiet parts out loud. Like when he's comfortable, like he's just sitting, because Joe Biden is a classic car guy himself. So when he's riding around in one, he's just sitting there. He's got his aviators on, and he could just sit there and talk about things. As I said, he said the quiet part out loud about the oil drilling. Go ahead and take a listen.
Well, the other thing I was able to do, I made sure there could be no oil drilling off the East Coast, the West Coast, and 150 miles off the Gulf of Mexico. He's doing it with all of that protection, too. No more windmills.
Yeah, that's...
Because they kill birds.
Yeah,
Give me a freaking break.
Towards the end there, he says, no more windmills. Give me a freaking break because they kill birds. I mean, they do.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound, they do.
And they don't last long either.
Yeah, they don't last long.
They're not easy to take down. They're not easy to.
Yeah, they never spin. I never see them spin.
No. Like I said, we've got that one on
480.
480.
Yeah.
Never see it spinning.
Yeah, never see it turning. But he's sitting there bragging about how he shut down oil drilling. I need the unions to remember that. I need you all to remember that. I need when we talk about oil prices and we talk about how gas prices were high during the Biden administration when they're throwing it back at President Trump, I need us to remember that Joe Biden just sat in a fancy car which needs oil. By the way, it was a 1967 Corvette. Very nice car. But it needs oil. And Joe Biden's classic car needs oil to go from point A to point B and maybe sometimes C. They need oil to do that. But Joe Biden, he was real excited. I was excited about shutting it down. Don't tell me we can't have no windmills. They would kill birds. Come on, give me a freaking break. Well, all right. So I looked it up because I was curious. I know these things kill birds. I've seen the videos where there's like a pile of birds laying around. I've seen it. I've seen it with my eyes. So I said, just how many does it kill? So I did some research. This is from U.S. Geological Survey, where they were just asking. They were asking farmers and different people that have windmills and facilities and things. And based on the numbers, this is crazy. So, well, first there's a list here. So I'm gonna tell you the different list here. The number one killers of birds are domestic cats.
Okay.
Which I went, wow, all right, that makes sense. Then it's followed by buildings/windows.
Okay, I get it. They fly into the window.
Right, power lines, vehicles, and then wind turbines. They're killing like and this is kind of an older estimation range. So this estimation here is about 6 years old. I couldn't find one that had solid numbers, and I would say that it would probably be more than this, just because there's more now. They're saying an estimated basically 370,000 birds per year are killed by wind turbines.
Wow.
That's a lot of birds. That's a lot. So to sit there and just kind of like brush it off like, what are you gonna like, that's crazy, first of all. But to sit there and basically, because I mean, obviously oil drilling creates jobs. That's somebody's job. That's what they do. So for Joe Biden to sit there in this car, I'll play it again just so people can hear it.
Well, the other thing I was able to do, I made sure there could be no oil drilling off the East Coast, the West Coast, and 150 miles off the Gulf of Mexico.
I made sure no oil drilling. I did it all. I got rid of it. And then turn around and blame the next administration for why oil prices are higher as soon as something happens. And if you remember, to lower the prices when all the stuff was going on in Ukraine, which, just so you know, now that Iran has a peace deal and there's a ceasefire, Ukraine decided to bomb the hell out of Moscow yesterday. Mm-hmm. That was crazy, to the point it was raining oil. That's how bad it got?
Yeah, they hit oil refineries.
So guess what? Prices might go up again.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
Thanks, dumbass.
Like, it's so dumb.
How many birds did you say you found in that?
Just under 400,000.
Okay, because I asked Grok, and it says in the United States, wind turbines kill an estimate of 140 to 680 birds per year, with some adjusted higher estimates reaching 1 million.
Wow.
And globally, it's over 5 million.
Wow.
Insane.
That's a lot.
For bad energy. For you don't even get that much out of it.
Yeah, and that's my problem with it. If this were something, look, here's the thing. Let's not reinvent the wheel until we know the next thing works really well. Like, let's not just start replacing things with energy, like with electric, because we know that our power grid can't handle all these electric vehicles. We see it. We see it with rolling blackouts in California, where there's a lot of these electric vehicles. And then, plus on top of it, now not only do they want electric vehicles, but now they're also pushing for AI data centers. Our grid can't handle that. And they're not going to make the AI data center shut down. No. It'll be us. It'll be our electricity that has to be shut down. So while Joe Biden's sitting here bragging about how he shut down oil drilling, just remember that, because they wanted everyone to do electric. What would they say? It was by 2035. That was the goal. They wanted to be by 2035 that they were going to get rid of all. They wanted everybody to have electric vehicles. Everyone to have electric vehicles. That was their goal, because they just want to get rid of oil. They're all upset about oil. They don't want to. They don't want anybody to use oil. They don't want any of that. It's just, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous the way that they treat stuff with oil, and remember, oil is not just used in cars. It's used in plastics. It's used in everything, like everything that we touch.
Yeah, I mean, cooking oils. I mean, used in natural gas. All
right,
that
all
they're
of
trying to get rid of, and they don't care if the price skyrockets on it, because they've got the money to pay for it. They don't care about you. They don't care about you making minimum wage,
right,
or you barely scraping by.
Well, that's why I said rules for me, but not for he.
Exactly.
That's what it is, and that's what we saw when he was president too. Like, there's a lot that you could say about President Trump. And there were things to get frustrated about. If you want to get frustrated about the Iran war, because, the economy was things were starting to get affordable again, you want to be frustrated about that, that's fine. But none of it was done purposely. He's sitting here bragging about it. If you lost a bunch of jobs as president, would you sit there and brag about it? Or would you shut it down so you could sit there and say that you lost them all? No. But Joe Biden did. Absolutely insane, the gall to do that. I shut down oil drilling all over the oil. Come on, man. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about that because he also did something, and I see Jimmy, you're on hold. You called it the perfect time because you're going to be the segue into what we're going to talk about next because that's exactly what we were going to talk about. What happened at Obama's library opening yesterday, the thing that looks like a giant square in the sky. Boy, oh boy. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420 The Answer. 102.9 FM or free on social media. You can watch the stream, see what we're up to. Right now we're on X, YouTube, and Rumble. We will have an after show today on Rumble, exclusively on Rumble. So if you're watching on those other platforms or if you're listening on the radio and you're like, I want to see what the after show is all about, where we dive in a little bit deeper into things. We're not as
not as structured.
Yes. Yeah, not as structured with it. No breaks
or
anything.
Call this structured.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But, it's a little bit more of a free-for-all. That's over there on Rumble when you search the Jake Underwood Show, and that usually starts about 12:10.
Yeah,
right
make sure
there.
you hit that like and subscribe and all that, too.
Yeah. If you're in there watching now, don't forget to like and follow.
Help grow the show.
Help local media grow. Show them that, local media matters just as much as this national stuff, because there's important stuff going on around here, like what's going on with the IX Center here locally. We're going to dive into that a little bit later in the show. But right now, and if you want to call in, it is Open Lines Ohio, and Kenny keeps telling me to give the number, and I forget. The number is 216-901-0945. Or if you want to text in, it is 866-525-0955. If you want your opinion heard or you want to make a comment and you can't call in, that's the way to do that there. And it's so funny. Jim does this at times, and I notice when I'm going to segue into something else. And I wanted to talk about the library opening yesterday.
He gets ahead of it.
Yes, because that was something. And I don't know if you saw the clip of Obama speaking. He did the thing where he talks about unity. We have to come together, because if we're together, then we are one. And if we become a divided one, then we are two. And if we become divided in half as a two, then we are four. And so on and so forth. Now, I want to make sure I say this. When we come together, we are in fact together. And when we're not, we are apart. And then everybody claps and they all cheer. And, they show the people crying and just tears streaming down their face. The whole thing. We've seen it time and time again. They opened the library yesterday. I do have a clip from Michelle Obama where she's talking about the Dreamers. And it's just, it's so interesting to me the way that they think. There's no way that they actually believe this. There's no way that they actually think this way. Because it's so out there. And it just... it's one of these where it just completely contradicts things. And listen, they sat there, they talked about how, she said that she loves Barack, and Barack said, oh, you're going to make me cry. Don't make me cry, Michelle. I'm going to look at the ground instead of looking up. The same way that can I get a drink of water? We're in Flint, Michigan. I would love to have a drink of water. And then he didn't actually drink it. He just put it up to his lips and put it down. We see you.
It's phony.
We see you. We know. We know. We know. We always know. I'm going to play the Michelle Obama clip here, just so you can, yeah. Former First Lady Michelle Obama speaking at President Obama's library opening yesterday.
Immigrants proving what it truly means to be a dreamer. These folks aren't Americans too.
Yes.
They are America.
Well,
they are the beating heart of this country. They are us, and we are them. And to ignore this simple truth, to refuse to respect the contributions and experiences of people who aren't exactly like us, y'all puts us all at risk.
Y'all. Come on, y'all.
Failing to see the humanity in all people puts us all on a slippery slope.
This is my favorite.
They are us, and we are them.
And I am we, and we are they, and they are we, and we are together as a group. Yeah. Like, what? What are we talking about here? Because they are we, and we are a group, and a group is a gathering. And a gathering can be called a gaggle, and that's what you have when you have a gathering of geese. It's a gaggle. And then everybody cheers. And it's like, what are you talking about?
Wow, she's so smart.
Like, what are you talking about?
Man.
And there was, I believe this is the America stuff. Here we go.
They are America.
They are America. This is hold on, where's it at here? I got to find it here.
Folks aren't Americans.
I agree. I agree. First Lady Michelle Obama made an incredible point when talking about immigrants yesterday at the presidential library opening. Here it is one more time.
These folks folks aren't Americans too.
I agree. They are not Americans too. In fact, because they're here illegally, that's what would make them not American. I agree. And listen. This whole thing, I don't know if they did it because I'll be completely honest and full disclosure here. I did not watch the ceremony. I read about it. I read I watched some of the clips and watched different parts of it. I don't know if they went as far to quote John Lennon, but I feel like it was right on the cusp of it. But yeah, you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not. There we go. Like it's absolutely just goofiness. Let's see. We do have people calling in if you want to join the queue. The number is 216-901-0945. Let's go to Jim. Jim, you're in the air.
How's you all doing? Okay, I would want to make a comment. Your imitation of Obama is terrible. You got to get the whistling in there.
The whistling?
Get the whistling.
Oh,
okay?
See, I'm doing 08 Obama. This is before the false teeth and everything.
Okay. But today is National Independence Day, and it was signed into office by Joe Biden on June 19th, 2021.
Oh, okay, yeah. Today is
okay,
June.
And
yes.
it means that the word Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation finally got down to Texas, and they were all told that they're free to do whatever they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
It took 2 years for that to get down there because they were still in slavery for 2 years.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Absolutely crazy.
Okay, and as far as Obama's library opening, it's referred to as the Church for Liberals. All he did was talk about Donald Trump and himself.
Yeah.
Me. And he bashed Donald Trump. Now, when Obama took office, let's go up ahead. You know, when Trump took office, he called the media fake news. He never threatened the media. He put them in his place, their place. But Obama threatened the media. He says, if you are not good, we're going to come after you. Okay? And then the Dreamers. When Donald Trump, the first administration, he invited Pelosi and Schumer into the White House to talk about immigration laws.
Yeah, that's right.
And they talked about the 500,000 Dreamers. And Pelosi wanted the media to leave. And he says, no, the media stays in here. He says, I will make those 500,000 Dreamers citizens, and I'll even double it. And Chuck Schumer and Pelosi said no.
Well, yeah, it was about the border wall. That was during the shutdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when the government was shut down, and, he said, I'll let those Dreamers in if you agree to fund the border wall. And they went, no. And he's like, well, then what are you doing here? Yeah, it was absolutely, that was, and Jim, thank you for the call. It was so goofy. I remember when that happened. And they're sitting there, and you can tell they did not expect him to take that stance. They were caught off guard, and so they just kind of like backpedaled. They were like, It's one of those moments where they didn't know what to say. And you know what? They could have made a deal right then and there. They would have had their Dreamers, and we would have had a border wall. But then what would they run on for the next election? Mm-hmm. They have to run on the Dreamers. I will say this. I did see the clip of Barack Obama when he was talking about Republicans and the divide in this country. These are not John McCain or Mitt Romney Republicans. Yes, sir. That's the point.
That's accurate. Yeah.
That is the point. You're right. You are absolutely right. People did not like the way that the party was going. The same way that you are not a Bill Clinton or a John Kerry Democrat. Like, yeah, it's like every this is what bothers me about Barack Obama. Everything he says, it's just so that it's like the depthness of a thimble, because you could just insert different names and you could say it easily about the other side. Like, nothing that he says is like substantial. Like, well, people were upset about the way their party were going, and that's why they went with Donald Trump. Yeah, people were upset with the way that the Democrats were going. That's why they went with Barack Obama. So it's the same thing. And look, It's probably a hit. It's a shot to Barack Obama's ego because he sat there and he made all the jokes and the giggles and the announcement about Osama bin Laden during The Apprentice, and then when he sat there and he was going, "Oh, Gary Busey didn't buy steaks. Donald's never going to be president." And look, twice. Hey, Mr. Obama, sir, he's been president as many times as you have. Some would even say that he's won more elections than you have when it comes to being president. Just saying. Like, he's eating his words every time President Trump goes and speaks and he has success. He's eating his words, and that's got to drive him absolutely insane. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take a break. I see people on hold. We're going to get to you as soon as we get back. If you want to join it, it's 216-901-0945 right here. This is the Jake Underwood Show. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here. AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM. Or you can watch us on social media. Right now we're on X, YouTube, and Rumble. We will have a Rumble exclusive after show today where, you think the wheels are off here. You just wait. No. Where we talk, we dive in a little bit more on different things and, a little less formatted, if you will. Just because there's really not a clock for the after show. We just, we talk about kind of whatever, whenever, and we really engage with the chat there. Big shout out to DP8008 who said, "It's Friday, my dudes." Thank you for watching on Rumble.
It is, my dude.
It is Friday. Let's see, we have a text that said, "When I saw the Obama Library, I immediately thought that it was a D-Day memorial of some kind, as it very much resembles a German blockhouse guarding Omaha Beach." So my question is...
it does kind of look like those pillboxes.
So they went on to say, my question is, what do they do with the with the cannons and the machine guns? Are they for sale? Your friend and brother in Christ, Liberty Valley Church, Dennis Polk. Thank you, Dennis. That's very funny. That is very funny. And if you don't know what we're talking about, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about just the opening of the library yesterday. Michelle Obama had some things to say. The clip of Joe Biden, it was kind of going viral there, where, at the end they all get together on the stage and, they're talking and then Joe, in his way of doing what he does, just started wandering off. Went over to the podium like he was going to speak, took his glasses off. He just kind of did what, Joe does. And, Michelle Obama, she spoke about how, just how evil and, dreamers are dreamers because they dream. And these are not just Americans. They're certainly not Americans. Last time I checked, we're called Americans because, yes, we can. Like, this is how just simple and basic what they're saying was. And people are just clapping. The seals were in the audience. They're, they're clapping along because that's what they do. And then, Kenny, you said what you found, he was taking shots at founding fathers?
Yeah. Of course, he had to take shots at founding fathers and try to sow more division.
Yeah.
So, here, let's hear this.
Union, the founders fell terribly short of the Declaration's promise.
All right.
Okay.
Union, the founders fell terribly short of the Declaration's promise, leaving slavery intact, allowing states to restrict the franchise to white men who own property. But in drafting a Constitution and a Bill of Rights, they did have the foresight, the genius, to provide us with a framework that allows each generation to make our union more perfect.
So what is he talking about?
Oh, he's just bashing.
Yeah, so he sat there. So hold on. So you ripped them for saying that at the beginning of things it was going to be different than it would end up being. Well, wow, really? Thank you, Mr. President Obama. When they first started it out, they knew it was going to be difficult, so they left some not-so-great things in. And then as time went on, they actually left it up to us to make the changes that we made, but somehow we're still held back. Okay. All right. Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. Thank you so much. Listen, when it comes to and I'll give you a perfect example of why they only wanted people that owned land and property owners to vote and to do certain things, and it's because of taxes. It's almost like what really set people off in this country 250 years ago were taxes. It was the whole thing. They were mad. All they wanted was their tea. They wanted their tea and their crumpets, quite frankly. And they got mad that they were going to tax the tea. So what did they do? They threw it overboard. And then it all started. And then this beautiful experiment that we've had for 250 years is still alive and well today, although people want to say it's on life support. It's not on life support. Take a breath. Relax. But that's the reason why, because they knew that people who don't have to pay taxes would always vote for the taxes. So they wanted to make sure that the people that were going to be it's almost like they wanted to make sure that the people who would be taxed would have representation. And it's almost like that's why they're against, they supported no taxation without representation. It's weird. It's almost like this whole document that was written, it was almost a blueprint on how to make it work. Isn't it crazy?
It's amazing.
Isn't it wild? It's almost like laws are put in place to make sure that we don't go off the road. It's almost like they're guardrails that are set up to make sure that we all kind of follow the same rules so we all have equal opportunities. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let's go back to the phone lines. Let's see here. Let's go to Sister Mary Grace. Sister, you're in the air.
Hello?
Hello, sister.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear us?
Yes,
Hello, sister. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's good to hear from you.
I'm eating lunch.
Oh,
It's a little early for lunch, isn't it?
if you like, we could put you on hold for a bit, and then when you're done eating, we get back to you.
You think it would take me that long? I'm trying to lose weight, you know.
God bless you.
Sister, well,
Aren't we all?
we are. Sister, let me put you on hold so you could eat lunch. I didn't want to disturb your lunch.
No, I love you guys. I'm listening.
Oh, okay. All right, sister. And well, let's see here. Let's go to who can we go to now? Let's go to TJ. He wants to talk about the algae. TJ, you're in the air.
Yeah, you know, Jake, every time I think the left can't come up with something loonier, they surprise me. Did you see these protesters at the reflecting pool that want the algae to come back? I mean, this stuff is crazy. You know, I don't like giving the left ideas, but I'm going to give them an idea now. If you want to protest Trump, stop putting chlorine in your backyard pool. Let it go to algae, and that would really protest Trump. And, you know, when Lake Erie gets its famous algae bloom every year, we could have hundreds of thousands of them coming here to Northeast Ohio to just swim in that algae.
That's true.
Would all protest. But, you know, one other real quick thing about unvetted immigration, you mentioned geese.
Yes.
Years ago, the Canadian geese, unvetted, come across our border. And how did we respond? We put them on the protected species list. Guess what? Now we're overrun by these foul birds. There's goose crap everywhere. So even Mother Nature can tell you how bad unvetted immigration is.
Well, TJ, are they dreamers? Are these geese? Do they dream?
Yes, they are. They want to be American. You know, they've seen that eagle fly across the crowd there, you know, at UFC and land on the stage, and now they want to be American like that.
Oh.
But they just want all the free bird food.
Yeah, well, that's the truth. They should be free bird food for us. Get them off the protected species list.
TJ, thank you for the call. That's very funny. The Canadian geese. Yeah, I want to know. They're dreamers. That's what they are. They're dreamers. Yeah, if you see, there were a lot of interviews of the people, because this was built in Chicago, and they're talking to the people in the neighborhood, and they're actually very aggravated about this in this library. Like, so, don't get me wrong, they understand the like historical relevance of it, and they're like, this is really cool, yeah, but it slowed down traffic. This thing's ugly. And in fact, I saw somebody from the Soviet Union lived in that area, and he goes, that kind of architecture, that's why I left the Soviet Union. It's just that brutal architecture, no expression whatsoever, and it just sucks the life and creativity out of you.
And on top of it, there's still contractors that are owed millions of dollars that have been left unpaid.
Well, maybe they could dream about it, and they could be made a dreamer. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take a break, get a check on news. When we come back, let's see here. Steve, I'm going to get to you, and we'll check in on Sister Mary Grace, see how her lunch is going. That's what we'll do. That and more when we return. This is the Jake Underwood Show.
matter. But what happens here in Cleveland and across Ohio matters more. That's what we talk about every day. This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Hello and welcome into hour number 2 of the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM. We're also on social media if you want to watch and see some of the behind-the-scenes stuff. We're on X, Rumble, YouTube. We're going to have the exclusive on Rumble, to Rumble, I should say, after show. That's going to be today, probably going to start about 10 minutes after.
Yeah, it's
after
usually,
the show
usually
ends.
around 10 minutes after.
Yeah.
We got to have time to kind of unwind a little bit
Right.
and take care of some things.
Get water, do that. I got to write promos and do different things like that. So, yeah, that's more. We don't have breaks. It's kind of just, it goes anywhere from like a half an hour, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour, right around there until we get hungry, basically.
Until the tummy starts rumbling.
That's right. And that's exclusively on Rumble. If you want to join that, feel free to do so. Just search The Jake Underwood Show. Give us a like, a follow. Like I said, you can see some of the behind-the-scenes stuff as we go throughout our day on the show here. We're talking about the Obama Library opening. Michelle Obama, she spoke. This is what she had to say. It's just the typical stuff. It really is. But I'm going to play it because we're referencing it, and it's also Open Lines Ohio. So if you want to call in, the number's 216-901-0945. We talk whatever you want whenever you call. We just so happen to be talking about the Obama Library opening up.
You want to say it again a little slower? You kind of flew through that.
216-901-0945. I apologize for doing that so quickly. But yeah, we talk whatever you want whenever you call. Phone lines we do have a few open, so feel free to call in. But this is one of the things that Michelle Obama said yesterday at the library opening.
Immigrants proving what it truly means to be a dreamer. These folks aren't Americans too. They are America. They are the beating heart of this country. They are us, and we are them. And to ignore this simple truth, to refuse to respect the contributions and experiences of people who aren't exactly like us, y'all puts us all at risk. Failing to see the humanity in all people puts us all on a slippery slope.
Kenny, do you have a childhood home?
Yes.
And you all moved out of it?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yes.
So do you think, because technically that house is you, and now the people who live there would make you and them and us.
Wait,
so
what?
does that mean that it's your house? Can you just decide to go up to that door, knock on it, walk in and say, I'm here now.
I'm home.
Yep, this is mine. Because we are us and they are we, and we stand. And together we stand. United we fall. Like what is this? It's just,
I don't think it works that way.
No?
Especially when we sold the house to someone else.
Oh,
I don't think that works that way.
does Michelle Obama know that?
I don't. It doesn't sound like it.
Well, there's a lot of things that could be said there. Let's see here. Let's go to Steve. Steve's in Collinwood, and he wants to talk Michelle Obama. Steve, you're in the air.
Yeah, we are them and they are us, and the beating heart of America.
That's right.
And most of all, let's not argue about who beheaded who.
Yes. No.
I heard that and I said, "Oh my God, Mike, give me a break."
Mic drop.
Yeah, mic drop. Yeah, literally. Yeah, it just
So
the stuff that she was saying yesterday was absolutely insane.
that's the logic of the left. It is. It's a mental disorder. But I wanted to say, I think that I trust Trump in this agreement, but I think it's a clone of Trump and it's glitching because it was supposed to be. Remember, it was going to be power plant and bridge day.
Yes.
And I was getting real excited. It's like going to Cedar Point. But then he backed off. He said, "No, I decided not to, send you back to the Stone Age." So I think it's a clone of Trump, and it's just glitching a little bit.
All right.
But
Okay.
and then because he still has to deal with Greenland and Cuba. So
yeah, I mean, Cuba's going to be next. Steve, thank you for the call. I mean, I don't doubt Cuba's going to be next. We're going to see that. I will say this: I don't know that he glitched. I think I think that Iran went. I think he's serious.
Yeah.
I think that
was leverage. That was all leverage.
Yeah,
So
I think that's what happened there.
And it's still on the table. Don't forget. I mean, this is still all on the table.
That's right. And I want people to remember that Donald Trump's not going there, the U.S., because it's not just Donald Trump. This is with, I would hope, any administration, but definitely this administration, is that when they're dropping these bombs, they don't want to take out innocent people. Mm-hmm. Like that's not what they're trying to do. They're trying to send a message, and they're trying to go after the bad people. So when he was talking about the bridges and power plants and different things, and the Iranian government came out and they suggested it, and I'm doing that with quotes, the air quotes, that it needs to be children and women and teachers and young men out there forming a human chain around these things. I think that was a moment for this administration to go, oh, they're serious. And I think Iran went, ooh, I think they're serious. So that I think was kind of the moment that was kickstarting when it comes to the ceasefire and making these points of agreement. Obviously, that was about a month ago now that all of that was being promised. And listen, I like to watch things blow up. I love a Michael Bay movie as much as anybody because I like big booms. But I think that was kind of a wake-up call to both sides where they went, okay, we're both kind of serious about this. And Iran's going, we need people here, and we don't want to see bridges and everything else get blown up, because if that happens, then it's over. It's over for us. And then you have the Trump administration going, we don't want to be the administration that knowingly did that to innocent people. We need to start coming, and having some negotiations here. And I want to say that was the moment that it may have clicked for Iran. Now, I know Iran's walking around saying that they're clearly a superpower in the world and they're being taken seriously. That's for the people who live there. There's no way they actually feel that way, because they've also come out and said that they're happy that they're finally having these negotiations and they're going to negotiate in good faith. I trust that as far as I could throw like a 600-pound person. I don't trust that at all. But we'll see. We'll see. And that's the main thing. Look, we're at a very unique position right now, because it's been a long time since both the U.S. and Iran were willing to negotiate. And then also, and Kenny broke this during the break, I guess Israel and Hezbollah, they're talking about potentially a ceasefire.
Yeah, Fox News had it out. I saw it on X that Hezbollah and Israel have agreed to a ceasefire as of Friday.
So, and here's the thing with that region. We know that the ceasefires aren't going to last long. So if we have the opportunity to actually work on a deal where we can maybe, look, the attacks are always going to happen. And I don't like that. I believe that people should be able to live as free and as safe as they can. I'm an American. Of course I believe that. That's one of the fundamental rights that we have here in this country. But if we could just maybe get the attacks to stop for a little bit and maybe not happen as frequently, I think that's a win. You have to understand that, and they're almost doing it here with the way that the schooling and everything. And I don't know if you've seen the videos of the schools in Iran. I mean, they have American flags painted on the ground and they just walk over them. It's a deep-seated learned hate. And it's going to take a little bit for that hate to be unlearned. You're going to have new generations and different things. And I'm not saying that it won't be. There's a chance that it won't be. But if we start to, if we have the people in the region kind of look over them with this $300 billion investment to rebuild, the United States has some sanctions there and some control over it, we can start to see it's not going to be a perfect relationship, but maybe it'll be a little easier for the generations to come. We have to take a break. When we come back, we'll take some phone calls. That number is 216-901-0945, or feel free to text in on our text line. That number is 866-525-0955. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here. AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM, or free on social media. You can watch streams, see some of the behind-the-scenes stuff. And also, Rumble exclusive today, an after show. We're going to do an after show after the show, probably about 12:10. That'll start. So noon 10, that'll start.
And that'll be the same stream. Just leave it on, right?
Yes, yeah. But it'll only be on Rumble. It won't be on Twitter or YouTube. So hop on over to Rumble, search the Jake Underwood Show, and you can watch it there. It's Open Lines Ohio, so we're talking whatever you want, whenever you call. It's also Friday, June 19th, 2026, the beautiful year that is 2026 in the greatest Cleveland area. And it is, it's nice out today.
It is.
It is 70 degrees, a few clouds out. So, nice way to start off the weekend. We're rolling
Father's Day weekend.
Yes, Father's Day weekend. So happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. You're doing a great job. That's how that works. I'll give you encouragement.
Yeah. Well, thanks. I mean, someone's got to.
I was going to say, I know the media won't, so I'll do it.
Usually dads don't really get that encouragement. Everyone else does, but dads usually don't. So.
Yep. So I gotta play this. Cleveland, there's a 911 call in Cleveland that's going viral right now. And it is, first of all, the man who called is the most Cleveland man I've ever heard in my life.
So awesome.
It's so good. It's picking up steam because it's a very funny story. If you live in Cleveland and you saw a giraffe, you weren't the only one. And this is I got to play the audio here. This is this was sent to me. This is the 911 call about a possible giraffe running around in Cleveland.
Hello, 911. What city is your emergency in?
It's not an emergency, but I live in Cleveland and on West 153rd Street. And my wife just seen a giraffe running through the field.
A giraffe in Cleveland?
Yeah, is there one missing? It's over by the Rapid Station, 153rd Street.
Okay, I'm not sure, but let me get you over. You say you live in Cleveland. So where did your wife see a giraffe? In Cleveland?
Yeah, in the field behind our house.
Okay, let me get you over to Cleveland.
I have to hold on. I have to go back to this is the best part of the entire call.
A giraffe in Cleveland?
Oh, just like it is. It's the most clear. Like the guy, and I love how calm all of them are. There's a wild animal out running around, and they're just like, "Really? You saw it in Cleveland? Really?"
Oh, I mean, in all fairness, it is a giraffe. It's not like it was a lion.
Well, yeah, but have you seen giraffes with their neck around?
I understand it's still a wild animal, and it could be very dangerous.
Yes,
but it doesn't have the reputation of a lion. So,
I guess. I mean, it would still freak me out. I'm not gonna lie. Walking around seeing a giraffe, like if I'm driving and I see a giraffe just run across,
like what were in those?
Oh, sorry. And so they're on the search for the giraffe.
Okay.
They're looking for it, and then this was released. This is from the Twitter account. I'm from Cleveland. They do a lot of pro Cleveland stuff. It's a pretty good account. It's one of those good accounts that if you're trying to convince people that Cleveland is the best location in the nation, they got the hype videos for Cleveland. So they released this. It's about a 13-second clip. This is dispatch calling to the officer who's looking for said giraffe.
Radio to Sam 33. How's the search going?
I'm coming up empty. I did find a deer, but I did not find a giraffe, and the deer seems to be okay. I'm about ready to clear.
25.
I didn't find a giraffe. I found a deer. The deer seems fine. So what I'm curious about is, did they think it was a giraffe and it was just a deer?
No.
What?
But wait, was it really a giraffe? I thought there actually was.
Did they find a giraffe?
I have no idea. I just assumed that maybe it escaped the zoo or something.
My understanding, and this is what was being reported, was that Cleveland's loose giraffe search ends with a deer and a defeated responder.
That's it?
That's it.
So there was no actual giraffe?
Yeah, no, there was not a giraffe.
At least that we know of.
I gotta play this one more time.
A giraffe in Cleveland?
Just too good. Just the guy's voice, just like, yeah, no, it's over there on West 153rd. Yeah, no, she's out in the field. Like, just not like it's something that happens every day. We just got giraffes out running around. Too funny. Just
anyone
too
contact
good.
the zoo to see if there was one missing?
Well, no,
because it's not like someone has got a pet giraffe. I mean, maybe
you never know. Yeah. See that? I don't know. See, I wouldn't. I know somebody who had a wolf. Not a giraffe, though.
Okay, that's a little more. I mean, they can be domesticated.
Yeah.
Especially if you get them young and they're kind of very similar to dogs, kind of along the same.
Seeing the wolf was the craziest thing, though.
Oh, they get huge.
Yeah, you don't realize how big a wolf can be.
Yeah.
Until you see one that's like fully grown and it's like rolling around on the ground hoping for belly rubs, and you're like, what is that? What are we doing here? It was the craziest thing. That was like 10, 15 years ago I saw that. It was a buddy of mine from high school. He graduated a few years ahead of me, and he's like, oh, you got to come over and see the wolf. I'm like, excuse me? But, I mean, a wolf is nothing compared to a
giraffe in Cleveland?
So, yeah, if you saw a giraffe out running around, you found it before anybody else did. But, yeah, I saw that, and I went, oh, this is Open Lines, Ohio, 100%. So, it was so funny. Just the reaction of everything. The 911 call, actually, so, they call dispatch, and then dispatch sends it over to someone in Cleveland. This is the remainder of that call.
My wife's seen a giraffe behind our house. Is there one missing? I live...
And the best part, it cuts off. But, she laughs, and then she goes, wait, because she realizes they're being serious.
I live...
Hold on, is this real? Hold on, we. All right, hold on.
I don't know.
We got somebody who's calling and saying that they saw the giraffe. Let's see here. Let's go to Frank. Frank, you're in the air. You saw the giraffe?
Yeah, man. I saw that giraffe. He was like 9 and 2. He was 9 and he was like 9 something, and he was right next to the weed shop, man.
Oh.
Yeah. That weed shop right over there?
Yeah. The one that sells the weed?
Yes. And that giraffe, his head was right over that stack,
man.
He was, and I don't know. I got scared, so I just ran home.
Well, listen, Frank, I'm glad you were safe. That's the first thing. I'm glad you were safe. And did you complete your purchase?
No, man, I forgot, man. I don't even remember what. I got so scared, I didn't even know why I was up there.
Well, Frank, I'm glad you're safe, and thank you for keeping us updated, and have a great weekend. Frank survived.
Yeah.
That could have. I'm glad Frank survived. That could have been bad. That could have been really bad.
I'm glad he got out of there.
Right. Just the best clip of all.
A giraffe in Cleveland?
I love that. And then at the end where he's like, yeah, is there one missing? And she's like, wait, what? So too funny. We got a break coming up. When we come back, we constantly hear it and we see it online about how America's like the worst thing ever, especially from people over in Europe. With the World Cup going on, a lot of people that live in European countries are now experiencing America for the first time, and their minds are blown, and they love it. They got a taste of freedom, and now they love it, and I'm so happy, because a lot of them, they are eating their words, and it's some of the funniest stuff that you're going to see. I have some audio to play. Just people the simple things that Americans know, like free refills, are blowing these people's minds just completely out of the water. So we're going to take a break. We're going to get a check on traffic, and then when we come back, we'll play that for you. That and more here on The Jake Underwood Show. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here. AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM, or free if you're watching the stream on social media. Rumble exclusive after show, starting about 10 afternoon, right around there. So 12:10 is when you could see that. And like I said, a little less format there. We're just talking. We interact with the chat. We talk. It's kind of open lines, so, same as it is today. We talk whatever you want, whenever you call. Let's see, we do have some text here. Somebody texted in and said, a few years back, I was listening to Cleveland Police Dispatch on New Year's Eve, and there was a guy, there was a call for a naked guy streaking on West 6th. The cop in the patrol car asked for a description. The dispatch responded by telling the cop, just look for a naked guy. Just, that's all you got to look for. Let's see here. Talking about the Europeans' reactions to coming into the country, James texted in. He said, was in Boston this week. Scots have been drinking bars dry there.
I heard that.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the footage from the Red Sox game that they went to, because Sweet Caroline, that's the song they play there. If you saw the Jimmy Fallon movie, they explain it all. They sang it for like 6 innings straight. And to the point you could tell the announcers were getting annoyed with it because they're like, yeah, no, they're still going. Yeah, they're still singing it.
Hammered.
Oh, absolutely. And then, they're hanging out in Fenway after because the Red Sox won, and then they're celebrating and they're still there and they're just singing.
I saw a video where they just sat down on the escalator and did a rowboat going up the escalator.
And this is one of those where we don't realize how good we have it here.
Yeah.
We don't realize just how advanced it is.
And how much fun America is. Stop being so stuck up and so
people
puckered.
Yeah, constantly. Like they're just we take ourselves a little too seriously here. And that's the problem. And I think social media has a lot to do with it because they want to make that connection with people, and they just try too hard.
They try too hard, and they fall into rage bait.
Yeah. No,
They think rage equals clicks, likes, and retweets, and so you get a lot of fake rage out on social media.
The best. Yeah, this is one of my favorites. So he flies in, I believe. Yeah, he's from the UK, so a little British lad, if you will. So he gets here, he rents a car, and of course he rents a Ram pickup truck.
Nice.
And he sends this video to his friends. They post on social media just how excited he is. He's in America. He's driving on some back road. He's blaring country music while he's driving in his Ram truck. How much more American can you get than that? Here it is.
I've been driving for 5 minutes now and I can't wipe this smile off my face. I'm driving a Ram truck in America. Look how sick this is. Country music on the radio. Go on. I'm going to Hooters in a Ram truck.
He goes on to scream. He's going to a Hooters in a Ram truck, and then he goes, "Yeehaw! Pray for freedom!" This is everybody's starting to realize just how full of it the media is.
Yep.
They're starting to realize that when they experience things for themselves. The big thing, and I don't know how many of you are on TikTok, but it was about a year and a half ago. I mean, the Brits in the U.S., they were going at it because, the Brits are mocking Americans because of AC and, oh, yeah, we do have limiters on our windows and, just mock. And now, they're coming here and they're going, I get it. I understand it. It's hot here. I'm getting sunburned. I was outside for 15 minutes, just different things like that. Because it's one thing to sit there and talk about it and say that you understand it. But when you really see it, that's the part that really bothers me about social media. So I as a kid, I loved national parks. I was obsessed with the Badlands. And I thought I knew what it looked like because I saw the pictures. But then I was there in person. I saw the way that these, it's just rolling hills in South Dakota. And it clicks, you really understand just how these people, when they were just discovering these new worlds, just how enamored they were with it and why they wanted to keep going. Because in every region of this beautiful country that we have is something new. That's why we say God blessed it, because name another continent that has everything that we have. It's hard to find. We have the perfect balance. If you want it hot, you move down south. If you want it colder, you move up north. Like we have that perfect balance, and that's why we feel that God has blessed us in this country, because we have everything that we would ever need here. And we have the rights to choose what we want. That's what's so beautiful about it. Another clip that was going pretty crazy, and it cracked me up. Apparently in Europe, you don't get free refills.
It's crazy.
What? You don't get it. So in this clip here, they
refill this 1,000 times.
It's a young Italian man, and now remind you, the World Cup, they're all in town, they're all in L.A. And let me tell you, they think LA's great. Could you imagine if they came to like a good place? Could you imagine?
Seriously.
Like, and he, they're sitting here at this restaurant, and the woman comes up, sees that, the waitress, server, whatever you want to call it now, it's all politically correct, who cares? But, the woman comes up and sees that the cup's empty, and she's like, oh, let me get you a refill. And he goes, for free? And and she's like, yeah. And he gets that look on his face of, oh, real, wow. And he just starts chugging Coca-Colas. Here it is.
I can refill this 1,000 times.
Yeah, but you won't drink 1,000 cups of Coca-Cola.
You don't know me. And it's free.
You paid for it. You paid it.
Once.
Bro, slow down. Slow down.
And he just starts chugging Coca-Cola like Forrest Gump. I must have had me about 15 of them Dr. Peppers. Like, that's what he turns into. And do you realize how restricted these other countries are when they're excited about a free refill?
They're all going to go home weighing 50 pounds more.
Well, it's funny you say that, because a Scot, he discovered Buc-ee's.
Uh-oh.
And he's losing his mind about it. Absolutely just losing his mind. Here it is.
Imagine being a grown adult like we are and being so excited about arriving at a Buc-ee's. If you've never been to Buc-ee's before, you might be mystified as to what it actually is.
I want to point out they're using the Jurassic Park music to talk about an American gas station. Like, they are that mystified. They are just that wrapped up in what it is that we have here. So when people are talking about how, capitalism's evil, and yeah, it's got its downsides, but man, the best, there are a few things about capital when it's done right. Now, if you want to make the argument that capitalism in this country hasn't been done right because, monopolies and different things, I'll listen to it. But when it's done right and you can have a place like Buc-ee's, I love going to Buc-ee's. Their brisket's really good, but that's beside the point. But you have to realize just the opportunities that are created in this country, that people come here, they're mystified. Their minds are blown by simple things. Like driving a Ram truck, listening to country music on a back road. What is more American than that?
You just need to pull over, grab a shotgun, and a 6-pack of beer.
Right. All he needed was a Marlboro Red and a hat, and he's there. He's there. I mean, he's excited about going to Hooters. And then he yells, "Yeehaw, pray for freedom." What are we doing here? That's the craziest thing. They've been so lied to about what this country is and what this country stands for.
About what this life is possible, what's possible in this life.
I mean, they just imagined, could you imagine the fear-mongering that is just being pushed in other countries? We think it's bad here, and it is, but could you imagine in other places what they're hearing about us or what they're hearing about President Trump? And just how evil. I mean, it's working here and it's working there too, but it's got to be, you don't have the balance in those other countries about stuff.
Well, and also think about how sad it is for all those extreme left liberals who can't stand this country. How sad of a life that is, to where you have the opportunity to do anything you want.
Yeah.
Put your mind to it and you can do it here in America. And you choose to hate this place, and you choose to use your time to bash this country and the opportunities that we afford you.
Yeah, when you really think about it, look, and I'm just as frustrated as the next person. When you compare the prices of things from 1980 to now, especially houses, I get it, and I'm right there with you. But one of the best freedoms we have is the fact that we can complain about it and not get a knock on our door within an hour. They don't have that everywhere.
And as many flaws as we do have, because nothing's ever perfect, as many flaws as we do have, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, we have to understand, when it comes to this country and its founding, everything that, now the Scots are discovering and the young man from Britain that's riding around in the pickup truck, you have to understand that the people who came here, they were under that. They were under just that rule of, whatever the government said you had to do it. And even when America, before it was America, and we had all the different, people living here, even when the colonies were forming, before everything was signed and written, and even before the French Indian War, they were already forming the American way, and they just didn't have a name for it yet. Mm-hmm. They had no idea because they were trading with Indians and the Native Americans that lived there. All these different things. They were already doing it because they were doing the complete opposite of what was happening in Europe. And that's why it became successful. That's why people wanted to come here, is because it was the complete opposite of that. You could have the religion that you want, and you could go next door and talk to your neighbor about a religion. You could go next door, and if you didn't like the way something was happening in that local government that you elected there, you could talk about it. These basic freedoms that we have, they're not allowed them there. Basic freedom as much as a free refill. If we don't get a free refill, we complain.
Seriously.
If we gotta wait,
gotta wait for the refill, we're complaining.
I was gonna say, if we gotta wait 4 minutes for fries, if they ask us to pull up, we're going, what are we doing here?
Like we're sitting there, the glass is on the end of the table. If it's there for more than 3 or 4 minutes, we're sitting there, we're just looking at the glass, and then our heads are going around.
I'll just get it myself.
Where is that waiter? Where?
Yeah, the drink machine's right there. I'll just go get it.
I can just go get it. Yes.
Right. Like we are afforded these rights, and I know we're talking about the most basic of things here, but sometimes that's what gets overlooked. And that's what gets overlooked, especially in this country, are just the basic things that freedom is inherited, but it's not always guaranteed. And that's what we have to remember. We can inherit freedom, but it's not something that we will always have. And if we slowly give it up, the way that I would argue we have, it's going to go away and it won't be inherited anymore. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to talk more about how the Europeans' minds are just blown by basic things here in America. When we come back, this is the Jake Underwood Show. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM. Just a reminder, we will have the after show exclusively on Rumble. Just search the Jake Underwood Show. It's Open Lines Ohio. We talk whatever you want, whenever you call. Let's check in on Sister Mary Grace. When we went to her earlier, she was eating lunch. Let's check in and see how that lunch was. Sister, you're in the air. How was your lunch?
I'm still eating it.
You're still eating? What are you eating?
Huh?
What's for lunch today?
What's for lunch?
Yeah.
We had a little bit of ravioli.
Okay.
It's nice.
Very good. Well,
I think so too.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you're enjoying it.
Well, I just want you guys to really think about this.
Mm-hmm.
They put me in a nursing home, so I couldn't speak. But I will always speak
Absolutely.
the truth of what's going on. And we got so much stuff going on.
Yeah.
They want to keep you busy. Just remember that.
Mm-hmm.
That's their goal. Keep you busy.
Yep.
Basically, so you don't see what they're doing.
Well, yeah, and if they keep us divided and make us,
Right, divided we fall.
That's right. It's a quote from Bobby Kennedy when he was running for president, who's now secretary, where he would say, if the townspeople are screaming at each other, the king and queen look over the castle wall and they know nobody's charging the castle that day. As long as they keep us divided, we're screaming at each other. They're going to be able to do whatever they want to do, and we just got to keep an eye out.
I just want them to find that kangaroo.
Wait, there's a kangaroo too?
We got giraffes,
It's
kangaroos.
not really a giraffe. It's a kangaroo.
Oh, all right. Well, okay. We got it. We got an update on the story. Sister, thank you so much for calling. Enjoy your lunch, and have a great weekend.
I love you guys.
I love you too, sister. Thank you so much for the call.
It's a nursing home.
Yeah,
and you know what? We should have a good prize for it.
What's that?
We should have a good prize for it.
A good price for what?
Who picks the right nursing home?
Oh,
for
we have quite a few in Cuyahoga County.
Okay.
To guess which one?
Remember that.
Okay. Yeah, well, we're gonna have to think of something.
County.
Okay.
Which one in there?
All right.
God bless you.
God bless
Bye.
you. Thank you, sister. Have a great weekend. We can think of a prize for that.
And figure out which one she's in.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many.
I know, and then we'll send her a radio.
Yes.
Yeah, we'd send her a radio. That'd be cool. Let's see here. What's that? We do have some text messages. Somebody texted in and said, Jake, we must evolve as a nation. It's time we look past free refills of plain sodas and carbonated beverages. It's time we look for free refills on beer and bourbon and bottomless mott sticks and brisket. Make it so, America. Well said.
USA.
That's
USA.
right. That's right. And then someone texted in, do we really think foreign media spends an inordinate amount of time on the USA? Maybe touching on administrations, but everyday life? And then someone asked who put her in the nursing home so she can't speak. That we will follow up on. She was eating lunch. I didn't want to take her away from her lunch. She was eating ravioli. But yeah, Sister Mary Grace, no, she could call in anytime. We love Sister Mary Grace. But to answer your question about do we really think that foreign media spend that much time on the USA, I think they do. And I think, I don't know if it's necessarily planned, but I think they do because they take that as the opportunity to sit there and go, see how much better we are than that place that has that guy as a leader. And because when, especially with the stuff in like Iran that's going on, I watch a lot of like, it's Australian news and then European news, the BBC. I watch a lot of it just to kind of get, because I want to know what they're thinking of it all. And I mean, Australia's pretty, which the Australian media is interesting because they seem pretty, I don't want to say based and red-pilled, but they're pretty based.
Well, yeah, some are. They seem pretty balanced.
But when you look at the stuff that they do in Australia, it's anything but balanced. I mean, they do some very extreme things there. But with European news, I think they do. I think because you have to remember, they had that resurgence of kind of Brexit and getting away from the European Union and all these different things. So they would go out of their way to make sure that anybody who would be seen as a quote unquote like rebel rouser type is just, they paint them in the light of this, how dare they go against the system? I mean, and you have to remember, they're not the biggest fans of us over there.
I wonder why.
Yeah, still to this day, they're not the biggest fans. I mean, look at people like John Oliver. John Oliver's whole career is coming over here, making money off of our system, and the fact that you can criticize government and do whatever you want to do, make a bunch of money, but still live there, and still, just bash the United States, make your money doing it.
Which is insane, because they'd be speaking German if it wasn't for us.
Yeah, honestly. But, that's I'm not going to say that they sit there and that's all that they talk about, but I believe that they spend a lot of their time doing it. And I'm not just talking about the news reports, but also you have to remember their culture, a lot of their movies and different things like that. Not so much TV shows, because they love murder mysteries over there in the UK. I don't know if you knew that. But every show, somebody gets killed in a garden, and it's like it's like a pope has to figure it out, or a priest, or a nanny that nobody expected to figure it out, which they're good shows. I'll give them that. But they're entertaining. I mean, I can watch a full day of just different episodes of it. It's very good.
They're watching the BBC.
It literally, no, it's good. They have that app. I was subscribed to it for a while because they got good shows.
I mean, if it was 24 hours of Benny Hill, I'd be watching it.
Well, and the thing is, their mystery shows, they're not as aggressive as ours are. It's not like SVU where it's right there in your face and it's insane. It's just, it's like, oh, we found somebody, discovered them in the garden. They were stabbed. I wonder who did it. And then the police are looking at the wrong things, and somehow it's like the nanny and the gardener from down the street are the ones that are connecting
Did
everything.
anybody see this?
Yes. Oh, looky there. There's a footprint. They didn't see that footprint there, did they? So, it's good. It's good television. But when you watch their talk shows, when you watch, Graham Norton, who are they talking to? They're talking to American entertainers for the most part. They're talking to actors and actresses and athletes and different people like that. So it is American culture. So they're going to comment on it. And somehow, always, the president's going to be brought up. The same way that they would praise Obama when he was president, or even Biden when he was president, they would talk about it and comment on it. They're going to do the same with the negative stuff and President Trump. And they're going to say that, especially with the war going on. Because, the Europeans in the back of their head, they're going, oh, boy, are we going to be dragged into this? So anytime they could sit there and bash the United States, I mean, you have to – I think we forget, and I'm not saying this is with every country, but in a way, we're kind of like that reckless neighbor. Like, we just let our people – we're like those parents that they just let them – what do you mean they could say whatever they want to say? What do you mean they could pray wherever they want to pray? That's crazy. Like, we could go outside an abortion clinic and we can pray for people as they walk in. You can't do that in the UK.
Can you?
Well, some places.
Can you?
Well, if you do it and you get arrested, you get a big settlement.
Maybe.
Maybe. But, we can go online and we can say what we want to say. We get shut down, sure, but once again, you could turn around and there's actions that you could take against them. Are they expensive actions? Yeah, so a lot of people don't do them, to be fair. But we do have laws that protect us, and they don't necessarily have those in other places. So in a way, we're kind of that reckless neighbor that they're going, well, at any point in time, they're going to fall. No, we're not. 250 years strong, and we're going to be around even longer, especially if Europeans are just now discovering how great it is to be free. Because, they're going to go back home, and they're going to want some of those things. And that's it is. The freedom of choice is contagious, and that's why it's so odd to me that people want it to be taken away. It's very strange. Like, we have that responsibility of making choices, but it's also a privilege to be able to make the choices that we can make. And when people get overwhelmed by it, it could get shut down real quick. And that's what that's what I meant when I said that freedom is inherited, but it's not guaranteed. So, we have to make sure that we carry that over, and we don't lose any of that for the next generations to come. So far, we've done a great job for 250 years. Hopefully, we can keep doing it. I know I'm going to do what I can. I know you listening, you're going to do what you can, but we got to make sure that carries on for generations. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to get a check on news, and when we come back, Tulsi Gabbard. Yesterday was her last day, and she released some things last night about Dr. Fauci. And I know that we've been wanting some answers. We've been wanting to get to the bottom of some things. Well, we just might. And it's Open Lines Ohio, so feel free to call in. We'll talk whatever you want whenever you call. That number is 216-901-0945. We'll be back right after this.
National headlines matter, but what happens here in Cleveland and across Ohio matters more. That's what we talk about every day. This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome into the final hour of the Jake Underwood Show on this Open Lines Ohio. We're talking whatever you want, whenever you call. We've also covered giraffes in Cleveland. Out running the streets.
Kangaroos.
Kangaroos. There's also a kangaroo. Sister Mary Grace broke that. That was breaking news. Talked about the Obama Library opening. If you missed anything today, you want to go back and listen to it, you could do that once we put the podcast out. Of course, you can do that at WHKRadio.com. Or you could always go back and watch on Twitter or Rumble or YouTube. Just, go through the show there. You can see some of the behind-the-scenes stuff as well. We will have a Rumble after show today. That'll probably start about 10 minutes after noon. So 12:10. And yeah, it's just, basically a continuation of the show. We need that 10 minutes. So basically we go to the bathroom because, it's a long show. That's how that goes. But thank you to everybody who is taking part in Open Lines Ohio. If you want to take part, the number is 216-901-0945, or feel free to text in on the text line 866-525-0955. So Tulsi Gabbard, and I've made it very, I think people know, I love Tulsi Gabbard. Mm-hmm. I thought she was the perfect person for that job. She comes in, she's so level-headed. I know a lot of people that have worked with her and for her, and they all say the same things, where it's what you see, that composure, it's the same behind the scenes as it is in front of the cameras. I had the opportunity to work with her a little bit. I'm not going to sit here and say, I worked for her a lot. It was a few times, and every time, very cool, very calm, very collective, just a very nice person in general. So I'm still praying for her and her family. Of course, she's stepping down because her husband has a rare form of cancer.
A vet, and she's spent her life serving this country.
She served this country.
And she's seen the weaponization of government firsthand.
Yes. And last night, about 12 hours ago, she put out a video with the caption that says, "Today, on my final day as Director of National Intelligence, I'm releasing never-before-seen communications and documents exposing how Dr. Fauci provided millions in U.S. taxpayer dollars to fund dangerous gain-of-function research at the Wuhan lab." It's not that this administration has forgotten. It's that for a lot of this information, one, it has to be you can't just read one paragraph of something and throw it out there. You can't, especially when it comes to this. When it comes to COVID, people are still they're still very, we just want to know what happened. And I think that's why there's a lot of anger the way that there is, because when you look at the younger generations, they lost their proms. They lost their high school graduations. Some people lost their college graduations. When you look at the older people lost their jobs. They lost their businesses. Some lost marriages. Just the stuff that went on during that, really the year and a half, almost 2 years, where things were locked down and people were just told to stay in their homes. And if you don't, the people that lost their family members, that they couldn't go see them in a hospital. They couldn't go to a funeral because they would only allow a certain amount of people in. There was just this sick stuff that was going on. And we were told that the reason why it had to happen is because of this virus. And we were told the story about, everything from somebody bit into a bat to it was formed in a lab and then it was released. We were told all of these things, and we all believe different things. Me personally, I believe the lab theory.
It made sense.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture. It's a mixture of all of the above, and it's kind of what Tulsi Gabbard's implying here. Now, I will say this. There's a lot of documents that were released. I did not get the chance to go through them all because, as I said, this video was released about 12 hours ago now. I saw this at 10 o'clock last night. I opened it up. I saw the documents. I went, that's a lot. I got to go to bed. I got to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I read through it a little bit. But Tulsi Gabbard put out a video where she's kind of explaining everything that she found. This is a longer video. We are going to pause this as, the video goes on. But I want to make sure that you have the information here. So what's going on, because it seems like even when we talk about the divide in this country, and when it really started, when we really started to see it become mainstream, yes, it was starting under Barack Obama. We played some of the clips earlier at his library opening there in Chicago, where they talk about the Dreamers and they talk about all these different things. But when it comes to the division and when we really saw it mainstream, it was 2020. And they knew that people were at their breaking point, and they took advantage of it the best way that they could. Especially, because when you look at the George Floyd stuff, and I want you to go back to that moment, that first week when all of that was going on. I don't think there was any, there weren't many people, even cops were coming out and going, yeah, that was excessive. Yeah, that wasn't right. And then now that we know all the details of it, that a lot of it was fabricated just to get us to lose our minds. Mm-hmm. George Floyd, he had fentanyl in his system. It was a counterfeit $20 bill. I'm not saying that the guy deserved to die. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that the narrative that was put out there about, he was just thrown on the ground and a knee was put on his neck, it's not necessarily, that was not true. And once we saw the body cam and everything that went along with it, where he was in the back of the car and he said, no, I can't breathe, get me out of here. So then they put him outside and he goes, no, I want to stand. And they go, well, you can't stand. We think you're going to run. Well, no, I'm not going to run. No, can I sit? I want to sit. Oh, I want to lay down. I want to do. And then he tries to run. So then they put him down the ground. They're holding him there. And then you got, 25 people coming around, putting a camera in somebody's face. How would you react?
Well, and the thing is, too, those poor officers, you got to feel for those poor officers. They did what they were trained to do.
Right.
They weren't the cause of his death.
No.
The cause of his death was the fentanyl overdose. It was not the officer's fault.
Right.
And the hell that they went through.
Right.
And then the city, the hell that city went through, because people used it as an opportunity to project violence and to riot and loot and
I think the reason why they took that opportunity is because they were aggravated. Why? Because they were locked down. They were locked down. They were losing their jobs. They were aggravated at the way all this was going, and this was an opportunity for them to just lose their minds. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying it's justified. I'm saying I think that's why it happened. I think you had humans ready to lose their minds, and they did. So I can't be shocked by that. We got a preview of what big government looks like, and we didn't like it. It's inherently, as Americans, we are taught not to follow along with that. And now there's reports coming out from Tulsi Gabbard on her last day holding the office of Director of National Intelligence, where she's going, hey, we might have some answers here. I think that's a really big deal. If we could get some answers as to why people lost their jobs or their businesses and figure out who to blame, we don't know who to blame. We don't know who we could think about it. Everything in life, if something happens to you, you know who you could point the finger at, and it might not hold you back, but you could go, it was this thing. It was this person. It was this action from this person that did it. We don't know where it started, but we might be getting some answers. We're going to play that when we come back. Like I said, it's a bit of a long video. We're going to pause it throughout to make sure that we understand the context of it all. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We'll get into that when we come back right after this. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM, or you can watch us on social media, X, YouTube, and Rumble. We will have a Rumble exclusive after show today where we'll continue talking about all of this. And, of course, when you search the Jake Underwood Show on Rumble, right now we're talking about yesterday. It was Tulsi Gabbard's one of her final days as Director of National Intelligence, and she released it. She released some information, the information that we've been waiting for. Because I'll tell you, a lot of people that I talk to, it's when are they going to start digging into Fauci? When are they going to start digging into COVID? And I never had an answer. Even when I worked with Maha Action, I didn't have an answer, and I would feel bad because I want just as many. I want to hear the answers just as much as you do. We deserve to know that. As Americans, we deserve to know those answers as to what happened and how they happened. And I know that, man. I worked in news. I worked in news radio during that. It was crazy. The wine with DeWines, all these different things. And we never knew the who. Well, we thought we knew the who. We thought we knew the what. Like, we thought we knew. We had a roundabout idea, but every time we would bring it up, we'd be called names and conspiracy theorists and blah, 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 everybody starts freaking out. Well, last night, as I said, about 12 hours ago, Tulsi Gabbard released a video. We're going to play that for you. As I said, we're going to pause it throughout to elaborate on some things because, in total, it's about 5 minutes. So here it is. This is Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard.
Before the COVID pandemic, Dr. Fauci, as head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, provided millions in U.S. taxpayer dollars to fund dangerous gain-of-function research on bat coronaviruses at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, work which is now widely viewed as the source of the unintentional lab leak that sparked the pandemic. Now, in support of President Trump's maximum transparency mandate, today, on my final day as Director of National Intelligence, I'm releasing never-before-seen communications and documents that expose exactly how Fauci worked with politicized career leadership in the intelligence community to suppress the truth about his actions, the virus's lab leak origins, and his role in directing U.S. funding for this dangerous research that caused immeasurable harm and countless lost lives.
Basically what she's saying, and this is how I took it when I watched this, I went, oh, we're going to find out why Fauci was pardoned. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. That's what this is. All right. Okay. Yeah, by all means. Because I want to know. And listen, we deserve to know. I feel the same way about this as I do with like JFK, with MLK, with RFK Sr. We deserve to know. We deserve to know those answers because those are pivotal times in this country's history where we can look and we can go, that was a shattering point. That was a point where things shattered for us. We've rebuilt, but we deserve to know the truth. It's our money. It's our country. We govern them. They don't govern us.
But we needed this years ago. We needed this, and anyone who asked the questions was instantly shut down.
Yeah, and I don't. Nobody should ever be shut down. I said it yesterday. The freedom of speech, it's to protect the speech that you disagree with, not the speech that you agree with. And this, what we're talking about now, and lab leak theories and different things. And by the way, the binder, it's probably about a good 2,000 pages. I mean, this thing it's stacked. That's why it's in 4 parts. Well, technically 5 because you have the introduction to it as well. Like I said, I looked at it a bit. Probably over the weekend, I'm really going to dive into it, and then we'll go over it next week. That's the plan. To really see what's being said and how, and the who, the what, the when, the where, the how. But Tulsi Gabbard does a great job kind of giving a preview to it all. We'll continue with the clip now.
Now, these documents expose Fauci's direct role in influencing and manipulating IC assessments on COVID-19 and how Fauci lied to Congress in 2024 when under oath he denied knowledge of or participation in discussions with intelligence officials about viral research. We also received testimony from multiple intelligence community whistleblowers who reported retaliation for challenging the intelligence community's manipulation of intelligence on the virus's origins. once again revealing a clear pattern of suppressing dissent, silencing critics, and burying the truth.
Censorship. So not only is she talking about how Dr. Fauci lied, because the paper trail is there, there's always going to be a paper trail. The paper trail shows that he lied. He lied to Congress in 2024, which we all had a feeling like if you really dove into this stuff and if you were really paying attention to these things, you knew you're going, he's not being completely accurate with this. He's not being completely honest with this, which if you're in a situation where you're about to be caught, you got the people that go, why would you be? If you get away with it, you get away with it. That was probably his mindset with it. But now we're starting to connect the dots. Like I said, the paper trail's there. It always has been, but you needed the time to find it and verify. It would have been really well. Look at the trouble Pam Bondi got in with handing out binders of Epstein files, and everybody's going, "We're going to find it out." And then a lot of it, they're going, "Oh well, yeah, there's 7 million documents, but there's really only like 5 million. We've released about 4 million of those. Yeah, we're slowly releasing the remaining million." And people, they freak out. All they hear is that they're releasing 5 million. Well, a lot of those are repeats. A lot of those are copies of what's already being put out. But that wasn't because we just rushed to it and said, here you go. A lot of it's just repeated stuff. So, yeah, there's 7 million whatever, but there's really only 5. 3.5 to 4 have been released. It's the context of it all. You have to understand the context when talking about this. And that's what, and this is, Tulsi Gabbard's so diligent when she explains the stuff because it is put into context. There is an understanding there. There's not going to be any repeats. What you get is what they have. Let's continue.
Dr. Fauci's close relationships with the intelligence community enabled him to assume 3 key roles that shield him from scrutiny. First, Dr. Fauci funded dangerous gain-of-function coronavirus research linked to Big Pharma and their pursuit of universal vaccines worth trillions of dollars. Second, Dr. Fauci was the behind-the-scenes advisor who, alongside his hand-picked so-called experts, pushed the intelligence community to endorse a natural animal origin to hide his dangerous gain-of-function research that he funded using taxpayer dollars, all of this in a deliberate attempt to cover up the truth and shift the blame and attention away from Fauci's own actions.
I want to say something very quickly, and I want to make sure that I explain this. I'm not playing this to scare anybody, and I'm not playing this clip because I know people when we talk about stuff like this. I know that it's very easy to get scared. Look, it is a scary thing, but at the same time, we have to know what's going on so we know how to prevent it in the future. So we have that heads up. If they ever try to do this again, whether it's 4 years from now or it's 44 years from now, we need to make sure that we know what happened so they can't do it again. That's the main thing. We made the mistake once in trusting the science and doing all of these things. We have to make sure that it doesn't happen again. Now, with that said, if there's a real danger, absolutely, let's pay attention. Let's do what we need to do and do the due diligence and make sure that everybody's safe. But we can't just sit here and go off of people's word. We actually have to see it, and we have to demand to see it. And there were a few of us that did that during COVID. I was one of them when I worked the other station that I worked at. Mm-hmm. We were demanding to see that. We stood up against the vaccine mandates. Not that they really pushed it that hard, but we stood up against it. There was a little bit of a buck back against it, and they knew, leave us alone. We're not talking about it. There was a lot that went on there. But, they never really pushed the issue, and I was lucky to work in a place like that. I know that not everyone was that fortunate. But we're now starting to see just how it works, and it all comes down to the dollar. And that's the real problem here. And this is the kind of stuff that makes people freak out about capitalism, and it's all about money and all these things. And that's why I said when capitalism's done right, it's a beautiful thing. It means that we have the choice in it all. We determine what is and isn't successful. When we start to see it fail is when government gets involved, like what we're seeing here with Dr. Fauci. When you can control where the chips lie, you're going to have a lot of control, but eventually it's going to catch up with you. We have to take a break. When we come back, we're about halfway through. what Tulsi Gabbard had to say here. And as I said, it's probably about 1,500 pages if I had to guess. Just how many pages are being released in this. It's a whole binder sitting there next to her, and it's a thick one. So there's a lot of stuff here to go through. Tulsi Gabbard does a good job wrapping up what you can expect to see when you're reading it. We're going to let her finish her point here. We're going to finish that video and talk about it when we return. This is the Jake Underwood Show. Welcome back to the final half hour of the Jake Underwood Show right here on this Open Lines, Ohio. It is Friday, June 19th. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. I am Jake Underwood, the man behind the board. This one, Mr. Kenny Kid. Hello there, Kenny. Hey. How's it going, Kenny?
Good.
Very good. We're breaking down Tulsi Gabbard's, she put out a video. She released, I did a count. It's not quite 1,500.
Okay.
It's right around probably 600 to 700. The binder looks huge, though. Yeah,
all this really does is highlight why Fauci got the pre-ordered pardon.
Right, and that's what we're seeing, and that's really what this comes down to. And we all, I think we all were suspect that something weird was going on like that. But the moment the pardon went down, we went, oh, okay, so we know, So if you're just tuning in. Yesterday was the final day Tulsi Gabbard was serving as Director of National Intelligence, and she put out about a 4-part series. And what I mean by that is a series of paperwork. Some of it is redacted, so you're not going to find out everything, but there's enough there for you to know what's going on. And she is, I guess you could say, accusing. She's accusing Dr. Fauci of what a lot of us suspected him of doing, which is working with these companies, kind of an insider deal where money was being exchanged, trillions of dollars when it comes to research, tax dollars being used to fund the Wuhan lab, this alleged bat theory, all of these different things. And so we're going to continue. We're about halfway through. The video in total is about 5 minutes, and we're stopping throughout to kind of just to ponder on what's being said, because there's a lot being said here. And I know for a lot of people, we want the answers. We want to know what. We want to know the who, the what, the when, the where, and the why. And this is starting to shed some light on what I believe a lot of people have already assumed what was going on. So this is Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard.
Third, Dr. Fauci became the nation's pandemic pundit, and he publicly pushed lies, disinformation, and censorship using every platform available. Now, according to hundreds of reviewed emails, which are included in this release, the intelligence community almost always incorporated Fauci's recommendations. He promoted a fraudulent paper whose publication he helped prompt as legitimate information for intelligence community consideration. Senior analysts praised Dr. Fauci not as a policymaker, but as what they called an unbiased guide to the real coronavirus experts, while deliberately ignoring experts who might dissent from Fauci's narratives. Now, Fauci didn't stop there. He blatantly lied to Congress under oath during his 2024 testimony to the House Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Pandemic, denying that he ever spoke to any intelligence agency about COVID. Now, the correspondence I'm releasing today directly contradicts his sworn testimony. Now, we received statements from multiple whistleblowers revealing that the intelligence analysts who dared to challenge Dr. Fauci's COVID origin conclusions faced threats of retaliation, marginalization, and many suffered career setbacks.
That's the biggest part there to me. That is one of the bigger parts there. Talks about the career setbacks, but what she said at the beginning of that, where he became this expert that everybody turned to because he was the guy that the media was talking to. We heard him in press conferences, different things like that. I mean, Amy Acton, at the time, she said that she followed Fauci. I think at one point, I know we played the clip. I don't have it available here, but where she talked about, he was a role model to me and all these different things that were said because if you remember the one little liberal in, and I say that because he was, in New York that made the song, Dr. Fauci, give me vaccines. Ugh. Yeah. Like he was promoted as that. He's the person who has all of the answers. And now we're finding out that a lot of it was a lie. And that's why I said, follow the paper trail. And that takes a long time because you got to remember how many emails do you send at work? Times that by 10. And that's probably what you're dealing with on a daily basis as a government worker. So there was a lot of paperwork to go through, a lot of paper trails to find and connect and different things. But we're starting to see that we were lied to. We were lied to, and I'm not going to sit here and say that it was orchestrated by the government, but certain people in the government, when they get that control, when they got that power, when they were able to, make deals with people and just spend trillions of dollars, and then, your buddy works in the media, so they spoke to him, and then he was on CNN, he was on MSNBC, he was on all these different places. I'm sorry, MS Now. It's MS Now.
MSDNC.
That too. But when we would see, that was the person that they were going to. Even President Trump, when he would have press conferences about it, that's who they were talking to. The information that these states were going off of was based on research and things that Dr. Fauci said. He tried to deny it. He tried to say that it wasn't, but that's exactly what it was.
It's kind of hard to trust the science when you can't trust the scientist.
Well, it's hard to trust the science because science is always changing. It's always changing. 200 years ago, they were like, oh, you got a headache? Let me go ahead and put a nail in your head to relieve the pressure. That was science at the time.
And I bet it worked.
I bet they weren't in pain anymore. That's just it. The science is always changing, and that's what we have to remember. And that's why science is so interesting. A doctor. Yeah, they're a doctor, but they're also practicing. They're practicing medical science. Because you're never going to fully have the answer. Because, if it was down to a science, chemo would work every time. That's science. You wouldn't have people who pass away from diseases based on, different treatments and different things because the science is factual. It's something you could look at and you could say, boom, here it is, or math, the mathematics of science also. That's something that's factual. You could follow it. You could follow along. But it's always changing. Let's see. We do have some people on hold here. Let's go
real quick.
Yes.
Why do doctors? Why are they the only ones that are allowed to practice? Seriously, we're practicing radio right now. We're like, it just irritates me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's completely fair. That is a good point. And I think it's because it is always changing. But you could say that at any job.
Yeah.
Any job, it's always changing. 20 years ago, radio, if you went, hey, you guys are going to be on video someday, they'd be like, oh, yeah, okay. And look at it now.
Now we're practicing streaming.
We are practicing streaming. We have not perfected that. Let's see. As long as the Wi-Fi is good, we could practice streaming more. Let's see. Let's go to Chuck in Avon Lake. Chuck, you're in the air.
Yeah, how you doing?
Doing
listen,
well.
You always have a great show, brother. But listen, there's a couple things. I don't know if you're aware of this, and you can double check me on this.
Mm-hmm.
Fauci's wife, I believe, worked for the FDA. Now, what you're going to do, you're going to find out that she's using her maiden name, last name, so they both don't correlate. Also, while Fauci, this was years ago with the AIDS virus and the monkeys, there was a girl named Judy. Her last name began with an M. If I can call you back on another day and tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what they were working on, there were two labs, one military and one like CIA, all the hidden stuff. And Fauci used to come in and grab a lot of the things that they were doing there, and they actually put a gag order on Judy. So I'm just saying there's a few things. So Fauci's been around for a long time.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
If you look, you can look this up about his wife, because I caught that. But what I'm going to tell you is, did you have any friends that you were around that end up dying during COVID?
I did not. I know some people that passed. I don't know if it was from the vaccine or from COVID, though.
Okay. My wife's youngest brother in Florida, 3 days after taking a shot, dropped dead.
Yeah.
One of my niece's husbands up here, 4 days after taking a shot, dropped over dead. There was a doctor I was going to for my foot. They made everybody in that office take a shot. She came back, something come back that she was already cured about. Now she can't work.
Yeah.
So what did they do? They put her in COVID. They put her in COVID care.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you look at all the things that were going, and you're right on the money with stuff. But I'll say this: you have to look up the codes on the bottles because they're not going to kill everybody in one spot.
Mm-hmm.
So they move those, boxes with certain codes. That's what they're looking at now. They were looking at this in Florida. And I believe also in Europe, I don't know if it's Sweden or Germany, they're looking at Bill Gates because he promised by taking that COVID shot, nobody would get sick.
Yeah.
And now they're looking at him.
Yeah. Chuck, thank you for the call. Those are great points. Christine Grady is Dr. Fauci's wife. And yeah, she has served at the head of Department of bioethics at NIH, at the clinical center. So yeah, no, he's spot on with what he's saying. He's spot on. And I've actually been waiting for updates on the Bill Gates stuff over in Europe, because I have seen that there are quite a few countries going after Bill Gates, but it's just they're going after him. There's nothing concrete yet, and I don't want to sit there and report on speculation. But it's starting to get to the point that there's a lot of smoke, so I would have to assume there's fire. We're going to go to break. When we come back, it'll be the final segment. We'll put a bow on the show. We'll wrap up what Tulsi Gabbard was saying here. And I'm also going to share that on my Twitter page as well as the Facebook page after the show, so you guys could see it for yourself. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show. Of course, a little Stone Cold Steve Austin. What? On this, as we put a bow on the show, the final segment of this Friday edition of the Jake Underwood Show. It is Open Lines Ohio. I don't know how much time we got. We do have some people on hold, and we're going to try to get to you. But I do want to finish this Tulsi Gabbard clip. I did share that to the Facebook during the break. So if you want to go and you want to watch for yourself without the pauses and different things, I know that could be annoying. I apologize. But we can't just play a 5-minute clip as much as people would love me to. The clip radio has its place. I don't know that it's necessarily all the time.
No, you don't need it to be the entire segment.
Yes. Happy Father's Day to the dads out there. That's this weekend. So I want to make sure I say that. Some people on Rumble said Happy Father's Day to all us fathers this weekend. That's from Bobby2368. Happy Father's Day, sir. Stick around for the Rumble after show. That's exclusively on Rumble. That'll be after the show today. All right, so let's get into it. We'll wrap up what Tulsi Gabbard had to say here. Just kind of uncovering, telling us the different things she uncovered about Anthony Fauci and what he did during COVID.
For example, a contractor was terminated just days after coming forward to ODNI as a whistleblower. Another example, those who advocated for the lab leak hypothesis or expressed dissenting views were reminded by their managers that leadership would determine which analysts would be promoted and which would not. The message was clear: go along or be punished. Senior leaders also sought to undermine whistleblowers by removing anonymity, which is required in the whistleblower process, as they made their complaints, and also insisting that their managers or attorneys be present during ODNI meetings where these whistleblowers were coming forward with their testimony, obviously creating an atmosphere of intimidation. The COVID pandemic caused tremendous hardship and pain for millions of our fellow Americans and countless people around the world. Now, after years of lies and censorship and cover-ups, the American people deserve transparency, truth, and accountability. The tactics that were used to hide the truth are straight from the deep state playbook. Politicized, self-serving leaders like Dr. Fauci covered up their own wrongdoing and abuses of power, manipulated intelligence, lied to Congress, and undermined a duly elected president by restricting his access to the vital facts he needed to keep the country safe. It's time you know the truth.
Well done. Well done by Tulsi Gabbard. I mean, what a way to go out. Because that was the last thing she really did as acting director of national intelligence. So put it out there. Get it out there. And like I said, I wanted to make sure that you all got that information. I did, as I said, I shared it on Twitter, Jake Underwood 92. We don't really have a show Twitter because I'm not that good at X, to be fair. Facebook, we do. I'll be honest. I should be more active on there.
X is actually very simple. It's probably the simplest of all the social media. It's almost like you're texting. It's almost like a mass text. You're texting everyone.
I'm not good at texting, to be fair.
Okay.
But I did share that there. That's Jake Underwood 92, and then I also put it on the show Facebook page. If you look up the Jake Underwood Show, you could see that full video there, as well as the link to go check out the documents that are available there. So, like I said, that's the big one for me. I looked at it a little bit. Like I said, it's close to 500 to 700 pages, right around there. I don't have an exact number. Not as many as I thought originally once I looked at it. But I mean, still quite a bit. So, if you have some time this weekend, if you're bored, look into it. That's what I'm going to do. But I wanted to make sure that you were aware of all that going on. Kenny, any plans this weekend?
Well, let's see. We got Sunday is Father's Day.
Yes.
Go out to my sister's. She's having our dad over. And,
nice.
So we'll do that. Other than that, no. I mean, just your typical weekend.
Nice. The rumor is because they're doing a 10-year celebration for the championship. I'm hearing like 3.1.
3.1?
3.1 million people down there.
Well, the Greater Cleveland Sports Commission put out that it was going to be 3.3.
3.3?
Yes.
Wow.
3.3. So let's run with that.
That's right. Yeah, let's run with it.
We're going to do it even bigger and better than ever.
Yes, I'm going to Photoshop pictures of a bunch of people downtown.
You don't have to do that. You're just going to have to just put up a drone, take some pictures.
That's right.
There's going to be 3.3 million people downtown.
3.3 million. over the course of like 10 years.
Yes. Well, it's the Greater Cleveland Sports Commission, I
that's
believe.
Right. Yeah.
I saw something.
Yeah, that's yeah. If you would have believed that, go right ahead. We're not saying that it's completely accurate, though. So yeah, that's.
That's just what I saw.
That's I read it. I read it on the internet, so it must be true. That's how that works, right?
I love it.
That's how that works. 1.385 4321.
And if you know, you know.
Yes. Yes. If you know, you know. That's Good luck with traffic if that's the case. But no, I think that's going on from 3 to 6 today. They're having like a little celebration on the basketball court down there. Go down there if you're not doing anything. 3 to 6 is a weird time. If you got a job, you can't go.
3.6?
Maybe that's the number. Maybe it's 3.6 this time. Maybe it's 6.3. Who knows? But we'll take pictures with the drone and everybody will believe it. That's how that'll work. Some people are going to be so mad. They're going to be like, "That was a great moment at Cleveland. Why are you doing this to us?"
Officially $1.3 million for the championship
That's
parade.
Right. Yes.
Last 10 years
10
ago.
years ago.
Today.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
There are so many people down there, though.
Well, I remember. So I was supposed to work that day, and I called my boss and I went, "It's not happening. It's not. This is going to be the only one in my lifetime." And if you don't know what we're talking, 10 years ago today. To the date, the Cavaliers won Game 7, 3-1 comeback. Only time in NBA history that happened. And we had the Monsters.
Yeah, the Monsters won.
We had the Cavs.
And the Tribe almost won.
They almost.
It would have been such a magical year, 2016. 2-1-6, 2016. What did the Browns do that year? 0-16.
Yeah,
like it was magic all around.
It was. That's what I would call that Browns season. It was magic. I mean, Terrell Pryor had over 1,000 yards receiving, so it was magical. That's it was. Yeah. No, it was something like that. That's Have an incredible weekend, everyone. That's how. Yeah, don't get me started on the Browns. We got like a minute left. I can't do it. We'll talk about it in the after show.
Enough time.
Yeah, in the after show. Once again, that's on Rumble. So if you're watching or listening, feel free to look up. It's the Jake Underwood Show. Watch the after show. That'll start probably about 10 minutes. We got to go do some stuff, and I got to write a promo for the weekend. So we'll do that. You can watch me record that and possibly mess it up. Have an incredible – to all the dads out there, seriously, have a great Father's Day. Dads don't get enough credit. We see the stats and everything. So, go text your dad if you haven't talked to him in a little bit. Text him. Say hello. And have a great weekend. Tell someone about Jesus today. Give them some good news. This has been the Jake Underwood Show. We will be back Monday. We'll have Congressman Max Miller, as well as, I can't remember the other guest, but Chris Long. That's who it is. Chris Long. We're going to talk about some legislation that's going on. So we're going to talk about that and more. Of course, anything that goes on over the weekend. As I said, tell someone about Jesus today. Give them some good news. We'll see you on the after show. Have a great weekend.